for 3 full days and nights. Just as I was on the verge of death, I suddenly spotted an island ahead. I desperately used my last bit of strength to crawl ashore, thinking I had finally found hope for survival. But when I looked around, I realized it was a deserted island with no signs of life. To stay alive, I had no choice but to search for fresh water all over the island. After searching for what felt like an eternity, I only found a drop of dew on a leaf. Though it was barely enough to wet my mouth, for someone who had been thirsty for days, it was a lifesaver. The sun above was scorching hot, and if I continued walking, I would surely die of heat stroke. For safety, I decided to rest where I was, to regain my strength. I hung my clothes on a tree branch to block the harsh sun, but the sweltering air made me sweat uncontrollably. I had to take off my jacket to cool down. Anxiously, I kept touching my wedding ring, thinking how much better it would be if my husband were here. It wasn't until the sun was about to set that I had to continue my journey. But in this vast wilderness, there was no sense of direction whatsoever. I had no choice but to walk steadily in one direction. Just when I didn't know what to do, I suddenly stepped on something underfoot. I picked it up and saw it was a piece of flint. In that moment, I felt a renewed hope for survival. I quickly gathered dry branches and a handful of dry leaves, piling them up to start a campfire with the flint. This would keep me warm and ward off wild animals. Unfortunately, after trying for a long time, I still couldn't get it to work. But I soon thought of a solution. I tore open the waist cushion I carried with me, took out the cotton stuffing, and placed it on the branches as kindling. Then I struck the flint again, and sure enough, I successfully started a fire. As the bright campfire pushed back the darkness, I finally felt a sense of security. The next morning, I was jolted awake by a sharp pain. Looking down, I saw my leg covered in swarming ants. Panicked, I stood up and frantically brushed them off. Although I managed to remove the ants in time, my thigh was covered in bites. With no other option, I tore a piece of cloth from my clothes and wrapped it around my thigh to prevent further insect bites. Once everything was ready, I continued my journey, but my strength was failing due to lack of food. I'd hoped to find some wild berries or dew to ease my hunger, but after searching for a long time, I found nothing. I finally spotted a coconut tree, but the height of the coconuts filled me with despair. By sunset, with nothing to show for my efforts, I broke down and curled up on the ground, eventually collapsing into an exhausted sleep. When I woke up again the next day, I was horrified by what I saw. A massive python was slithering over me. Terrified, I held my breath and stayed completely still. Luckily, it was just passing by. Only when the python had completely disappeared did I dare to stand up, trembling. It was clear that this place was too dangerous to stay, but after